Hi, guys. My name is Thornton, and you are listening to the One Up podcast. You can see all these live recordings by going to Amena.Media to get to the channel for the directory for the hold on, I'm getting tongue tied this morning. It is 8 o'clock here, and apparently I cannot think of the new website address. I just updated it, and that's why I got a little tongue tied there. So if you want to get to the podcast channels, go to anchor.fm/oneup. That's anchor.fm/oneup to get to the direct link of the most popular broadcasting station, the Apple podcast. There is a new link that is called Amena.fm to go straight to the podcast over at Apple Podcasts. All right, so to get started, we are covering the series Message of Hope, stories from struggle to success this morning. And Nikolai, is it Nikolai? Did I have it right?
Nikolai is the way you spell it, but it's actually Nikolai.
It is Nikolai. I had it right the first time. All right. Nikolai is here this morning to share his story. And Nikolai, can you say your last name? Is it just Joy?
Joy, yeah. It's actually interesting. From Colombia originally. Joya is how you pronounce it, and Joya in Spanish means jewel, like a jewel for your finger. Jewel. And then in English is Joy /A. So that's actually my personal page. It's like Joy A, and I'm enjoying, I'm the sons, so it's like it just meant to be for myself. So it's just a very interesting.
Perfect. Joy, Jewel. Yeah. It's just a good name in general. Yeah, especially because looking over what we talked about and also what you came in here to share with your story, it is bringing joy, right? Like your whole story is joy, so it's perfect. Nikolai's here to share his story with us through the Message of Hope, and he told me before we started here that he wanted to come in and basically express his feelings and how he overcame his past and forgave his past to live in the present moments. And I'd like to have him explain that exactly what he was going through at that time and why he feel like he had to forgive things that either happened to him or stuff that he's been through himself. Because I know a lot of what would the word be? Self-pain can definitely hold you back as well. So, Nikolai, is this something that happened to you, or is this more something that you put yourself through?
This is something that happened to me as part of my journey. Just wait for a second. Thanks support. Okay. I forgot to put my
yeah. Nikolai's in tech support here. He's making some adjustments.
It's one of my multiple traits. It's always about having fun and putting your heart and love into everything that you do. Yes, thank you for having me along. I mean, I really appreciate this opportunity. I've been looking for it for a while already, and just really vibe with your energy. And I can just easily tell how we can just go very deep in multiple conversations here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Me and Nikolai can talk all day. I have a feeling. He's so bright and energized this morning for everybody that can't see him, but it's not morning for him. It is 10 o'clock at night, right? Yeah.
Thornton Coast, Australia.
Yeah, awesome. He looks very nice and definitely well put together. And I love that he's wearing sunglasses. Actually, he's wearing sunglasses. It just makes him look so cool.
Yeah. Well, they're actually blue glasses.
Oh, they are. I like them. Yeah, those are cool, really cool ones. I like those.
Yeah. They actually fit my color of skin and everything.
Yeah, they do.
Friend and health has to be coming together.
I like that. Yeah.
Just taking care of myself and my brain before sleeping later on. But yeah, I just wanted to like come back to your question before about, where this journey of forgiveness and probably pain as well is something that was part of my journey, and nothing that I caused to myself. I feel like I did cause it because that's the way we choose to perceive things.
Yeah.
Everything starts with a thought. The way that we filter things, the way that we see is the way that our body's gonna, receive it, is gonna absorb it, and therefore, this is coming back to my childhood. So when you are a child, unless you're going through a lot of knowledge, that's not really the way you see things. But yeah, I started through, like growing in a household of only with my mother, pretty much since I'm 3. My mom and my dad were separated. I never really lived with my dad until I was 10 years old, and until then, it was out with my mother. I always was very, had issues at school. I was stealing, I was fighting, all these things. I was just frustrated.
Is that why you
But it was
moved in
something.
with your dad afterwards? Because you said you lived with your mom for the first amount of years, and then you basically switched later. Is that why you did? Because you were having issues in school and things?
In part, yes. In part, it was more so a change, because that was a trait that I had since a kid. Since like even kindy, like some stories that I was already like fighting and pushing. I'm 193, 1 meter 93, or 6'4". So I've always
Okay.
been
Yeah.
pretty. So I was, I don't know, just naturally, not naturally, but I always find myself in trouble as a kid,
Mhm.
or in very not very comfortable places. And so, yeah, it was more so I realized the pain that it was not having my dad with me,
Yeah.
right? So it was seeing all the kids being picked up by both the parents, and seeing them, going to soccer and all these things, having the dad to talk about girls, to talk about, all these things that masculine presence is needed
It's
to
important.
help
Yeah.
the children. Exactly, it's important. It needs to hold the children for his growth. I didn't have that, and I didn't know that subconsciously. So I was putting that frustration away in another way. And mothers, and if you're out there listening, a single mother, fully honor to you, because I know how hard it is. Amena, here you go, the one and only in front of me. Yeah, it's very hard. I work with women as well. I do child support here in Australia,
Oh, that's awesome.
and multiple other things with women. Yeah, to remove trauma from relationships as well. And it's very hard to see, how unhealthy masculine can affect the feminine, right? But as
Mhm.
well, how empowered is feminine. Like my mother was doing marketing in this company. She was full switched on. I remember nights, she coming very late because she was just working very hard. And yeah, when I was 10, she was going through a divorce. So I think like the best move was me to go with my dad in this North Island in Colombia called Providence, where he was living with his wife and my next two sisters.
Okay.
So I lived with them for a year. That was actually a very beautiful experience, like in this island, they speak Spanish and English combined into
What
one.
what is it? Is it Colombia, you said? Where was it?
So
Okay.
we have Colombia, the main island, and then at the
Yeah.
north we have two islands, so San Andres and Providence. And in
Okay.
Providence, in
Providence.
both of them, they speak Spanish and English because they're
Okay.
closer to America. So
Yeah.
the tourism, the trade needs both languages. So yeah, I just learned English there since I'm 10 years old. I learned English in this place, and by that point, my experience with my dad was beautiful glimpses here and there of beautiful moments, but never living together. So my thought was like, oh, amazing! I'm gonna live with my dad. This is gonna be good. However, it turned out to be the opposite thing. There's a bit of physical abuse. A lot of fear start to come up, a lot of anxiety. Sometimes, it was physical abuse for not the right reason, but I did something not right. But
Yeah, I
sometimes it was,
understand. Yeah.
sometimes it wasn't, and that caused a lot of pain within me. Obviously, a lot more that I already had. And so, then after that year, because it was a bit, painful for me, I was like, I really want to leave. I came back to live in the coast of Colombia, from where I'm from, to live with my grandma and my mother, and live there for the next 5 years. And that was the first school that I was there for more than 1 year. At that point,
Oh,
every single
wow. So,
school,
wow. Okay. You kept moving. Yeah.
yeah,
But
Well,
was it easy for your parents to co-parent, I guess, at that point then? Because you said that you basically lived with your dad for a year and it wasn't the best situation. Obviously, there was abuse. And then, you could actually go back to your mom the year after. So I guess it was no dispute on like, okay, well, no, he's just going to stay here. And she had to actually, fight to get you back. So I guess they're kind of communicating at that point, and they were obviously looking at for the best interest of you. It sounds like.
Yeah, I mean, with my mom, she also needed a space for the divorce and everything that she was going through, big shift on her life. And my
Yeah.
dad, yeah, I never lived with my dad until that point. And after living with him, my mom and him didn't really always have the best connection. They never got married. They met in university. My
Yeah.
mom had me when she was 18, 19, and my dad was like 22 or something.
Okay. Very young. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the connection wasn't like the best, but it was clear. With my mom, it was very good. I was going to very good schools. She was earning, good money, financial way, mostly for a third world country like Colombia. That's truly a blessing. Like I moved every single year of school, and I was able to change school and move around and everything. After I came back from the island, I moved with my grandma, and we settled down there for the next couple of 4 or 5 years. And yeah, it was more so my mom. Like I'm more so raised by my mom and my grandmother in this period in my life when I'm entering. And yeah, that period was again, it was good. It was growth, but there was there's a lot of bullying in Colombia in general. So I was overweight, so it was constant bullying, like push, 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 push the buttons. And I was enrolled with the wrong people, gangs, no gangs in a deep way, but just like trying to
Yeah.
fit, right? Trying to
Yeah.
fit.
Like
That's a
certain groups of people.
Yeah, well, I was trying to fit because I was overweight. Everyone was neglecting me, so I was just like, oh, I just joined the group, whatever you want me to do, right? So I was just there because I was accepted, even so if I didn't feel comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So a lot
Yeah.
of more things was bring up to there, and then years passed, and then my mom moved to Australia with someone that she married in Colombia, a friend of hers, and I decided to stay to finish my school. I had like half a year left, and she decided, my grandma was like, no, I can't take care of him because I was a headache. I have to say I was a bit of a headache. So my grandma was like, no, just go to your dad. So my dad was living in the capital by the time, so I went back to live with him, and it was a bit of a same cycle again. um Long story short,
You're very flexible. I can hear it. You're very flexible. You're like, wherever I'm at, I'm good. I'll figure it out. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was a bit more hard than that. I did went through, like, I live with my both of my families, grandmother and grandfather. I was here and there. There was a time that I had no clothes because my dad kicked me out of the house. Like in this period when I was 15,
Wow.
he kicked
Yeah.
me out of the house for a silly reason. He was trying to cover up something, and I had to go to my grandpa. I had no food, no clothes. So I just have to go for a couple of clothes here and there, like just to survive, and then everything coming back together.
It doesn't sound
But
like you were very depressed though. You were just like taking it as it is and just like, well, now what? Now what am I gonna do? Like,
not
Jesus.
necessarily, not necessarily. Like there was a lot of pain, and
Yeah.
the person that you see today is very different. The person you will see 5 years ago when you just came to Australia. Like
Yeah.
Australia has really changed my life. Like the people in here, the connections that I have get, my friends that truly see me and love me for who I am, truly, without me trying to fit a stigma on a standard or a box, right?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
be myself, and that's the most important thing, right?
It is.
So I just want to go to the root of this, that until like 2 years ago, I had so much triggers about my dad, so much trauma about every time I speak about my dad, it was just anger out all the time, right? And then
Yeah.
I went to Colombia the first time after like 3 years of living here, and I was like, I'm gonna heal this with my dad. I can't. This is not serving me right now in this present moment. So
Wow.
when I saw him, it was beautiful. I was my uncle, my sister, and when I had a moment with him, I was like, I forgive you. Obviously, more dropping in emotional state, and I said, I
Yeah.
forgive you. Whatever happened in the past, it doesn't really matter. What happens is right here, right now. I love you, and I love that I can here right now, like speak to you and being able to connect with you.
That's
And
very
of course,
beautiful. Yeah.
there's more things deeper. Like there's a lot of like trauma from his dad as well. But from a place of love, I just came with unconditional love and say like, it's all right, I forgive you. The beautiful piece of this story, my friend, is that I spoke to him last week, and the
Yeah.
person that was 10 years old, he was making laugh of my mom's letter saying, "Follow your heart. What is this, silly thing?" And just making fun of me. No, he's telling me you have a treasure in your heart. Make sure you share it with the right people. He's
That's
like
good. So
so.
you're changing him with your emotion and your feeling and your love of life, basically. He's seeing
Yes.
that, and
Oh,
it sounds like
yeah.
he's getting better and healing himself. So it's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, it's when we have the initiative and the leadership to do the inner work and remove all these layers of trauma within ourselves. Other people see that, and without ours, like we just inspire them. And now that's what he's doing. He's doing the work. He's 44 years old, and he has so much deep things to heal, and he's doing the hard work. Like it's not easy. I tell you, it's not easy to do such a work to heal with your family and say I forgive you for this. That is, an egoistic thing from the mind. When we release of the mind, that is follow all these stories in the past, and you told me, and you insult me, and you took my money, and you took my girl, whatever it is. When you come to the heart and it's like, wow, like this person was needed on money, this person was on pain, this person had trauma. I love you, I forgive you, right? It's
Yeah.
coming from a place of love, and that's really my transformation, like truly following my heart and forgiveness of the past and staying in the present with a clear mind to look forward into the future is what has really changed my life. And
Changed.
right
Yeah.
now it's like that, present moment, what makes me feel better, what makes my heart sing, right?
Yeah,
And
definitely.
yeah, I
So
am.
when did that change? So when you moved back with your dad, what changed in your life that made you on this new path? Um,
Hmm.
did you end up going to, so you ended up graduating, or going through school, and
Hmm.
then did you move after that and like started like following different people and hanging out with different people?
Hmm.
What was that change?
Okay, so just give you a sort of structure age-wise. When I was 12, I lived with him.
Yeah.
When I was 13, I came back to my grandma's in the coast. I lived there up to when I was like 16. And then I went back to live with my dad in the capital city. I finished school with him. However, after I finished school, this thing that he kicked me out happened. So then I went to live with my grandpa from my mom's side. Uh, and let's say in the capital, I was about 3 or 4 years, right?
Okay.
Within that time, I finished my high school. And then I was doing certificate in English, just improving my English, through
Yeah.
different courses. And I as well did a certificate for in kitchen hand in Colombia, which I'm very blessed that I did.
Or what is
So
it? What is it?
kitchen hand. Well, you won't say kitchen hand. Yeah,
Like
just cook.
cook?
Keep
Okay,
cooking.
kitchen work.
Cooking.
Okay. Yeah.
Kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But more in depth, not just basic, but truly like international cooking types of cut, types of meat.
Oh, that's cool.
Uh, Cheese tables, bakery, all the things, right? And which I'm really passionate about, right?
Yeah.
About and making delicious food as well. So I did that, and then by all this period, my mom, my angel here in Australia, she was already applying for my child visa because she married this person in Australia, so she had permanent residence, and she was applying for my visa while I was studying. I was still underage at this point. This was when I was 17, right? So then I finished the certificate on Q-Curry when I was like 16 and a half, nearly 17.
Hmm.
And then I finished my studies, I did my practices. And then by, like, let's say 2 months before I turned 18, we started to pack up everything and organize everything for my move to Australia, right? And
Yeah.
then I get to Australia 10 days before I turn 18, right? So I get there as child visa, and then I turn 18 inside Australia, which child visa will turn into a permanent residence.
That's
So I can
cool.
like permanent resident, which is a blessing. Like how many people that I meet, they have student or working holiday, and it's like a struggle to find work or a place and
Oh
even
yeah.
family. Like I have my mother here, like sometimes I do want to share like a bit more like present from my heart. Like sometimes triggers happen with family here and there, but the blessing that my mom gave me to be here is just so beautiful. And
God.
um, and yeah, so when I came to Australia, as I was saying before, just being in this land, being around people here that are like totally different mentality, more open, is more secure in Colombia. It's a third world country. It's a beautiful place, but it's a third world country. You have to be more aware of your belongings in the street. You have to be aware not to go in the dark, all this sort of thing. And it's not like there's not as much trust and much openness as people here in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it wasn't only that, but just the connections that I made, really beautiful people, really like from the heart. Like they wasn't looking for anything from you, or they didn't want to take advantage of you in a way, or they just you like them, you just chat, just hang with them. It was beautiful, right? And for the
Yeah,
first time, I was
right.
able to feel fit in a group, and I was like, wow, this feels like a family, a tribe.
Yeah, it feels
And
like home. Yeah.
that itself healed because I never had that in Colombia. So that itself started to heal me slowly and slowly and slowly. And in that journey, I start to research about health, wellness, law of attraction, more so like for me, words are very important. So your words create your world, right? So
Yeah.
whatever you say, it will be created by your mind. So I
Mm-hmm.
started to play with all of these journaling, meditation, a bit of everything here and there, right?
Yeah.
But
And it was
it
just
was
because the people that you were starting to surround yourself with was so positive, and you were
yeah,
like, "Wow, this is so nice. I like this. How can I learn more about this?" And
yeah.
learn how to better myself. With all these different methods. So it's definitely. And I gotta say here too, everybody that I do speak to Australia is really happy. Actually, I don't think I've met one that hasn't been. So it's definitely been amazing. I have never been myself, but I'm just like, wow, everybody seems so happy. So it's really great.
Or so are you happy where you are right now in your life? Because you're alive. Because you can
Yeah.
breathe, you have food, and you have family, right?
Oh, definitely.
You're fulfilling your dreams, yeah. And I think that's all we need to be happy. Like that's my motto in life. Like you don't need money or a business or the house or the boat or the
Yeah, that
all
doesn't
the
matter. That
happy,
doesn't matter at the end of the
happiness
day.
is found within yourself. And
Yeah.
when it's here for you, it's like, wow, I have a body. How many people around the world are gonna wake up tomorrow and by means of whatever, they're not gonna wake up. They can't move. They can't hear. They can't be independent. They have to depend on someone else to push them in a wheelchair or to
Yeah.
feel them. It's just a blessing to be alive. So I don't know to have the joy to feel alive. And we will feel with that energy, right? That frequency as we were speaking before. Like you just like so much vibrant for like, wow, like following what your heart wants, what makes you happy when it comes to passion, when it comes to work or your mission in the world, whatever it is, can be from being a gardener to being a teacher, businessman, I don't know, social media person, whatever it is, but always doing it from your heart is the most important thing.
Oh, definitely.
And yeah,
So what are you working on now, Nikolai? What is your projection with this? Are you still I imagine you're still continuing self-develop every day. What other things are you doing in that space? Because you're doing more, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm doing at the moment self-development through frequency as I was telling you with the healing device. So not only supporting the body with frequencies to heal it, but teaching people about frequency is something that I'm stepping into. So about frequency, how different frequencies affect our body, frequencies of healing, frequencies for astral traveling, all these things. And a truth that is coming out slowly, about the 5 dimension and how when we
Hmm.
are if do you know about the brain states? The
Yeah.
different brain
Yeah,
states.
I know what
The,
you mean.
the beta is when we are like go, 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 activated. This is a different frequency that when you're in alpha in a more right now we're in alpha, which is no go, go, where it's like quiet down. And then we have REM sleep, like the REM state, which is a very more deeper state in your brain of your breath and your frequency when your brain secretes this little chemical called DMT within your brain, and that's why you have all these glimpses of like beautiful vivid dreams, and also clarity in thoughts. Sometimes when you're in the bed or when you're like at nighttime, you're like, oh, I should have done that today. I should have said that today.
What stage would
Funny
that be? Would that be REM? Would that be REM stage?
I think so. Yeah, I still
Okay.
have to research more about that. But that's my theory. That's like an explanation of brain frequencies. So yeah, this is one of the things I do. Is all for me. It's all about how to make the body, how to evolve the human to its very expression, how to become your very expression. So by not by trade, but I'm a muscle healer as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a diploma in Remedial massage. But for my clients in my business, I don't only treat in the physical body, but it's like, all right, looking at a more holistic, physical and etherical way. So let's say if you have pain in your neck for 10 years and you've already been to chiro, to physio, to everything, and nothing seems to remove it, more likely you have a trauma, an energetic trauma there. Can be from
Okay.
your throat chakra, from not speaking something, or something that you wasn't able to say in a very, a heavy emotional state, or can be something energetical with your meridians, or can be actually something with your joint. So that's one of the parts I have been embracing the last few years. I
Okay.
just finished my diploma last year, and right
And
now
how
I'm
would that be implemented? So it's not like acupuncture or anything, right? It's actually with training, the release of energy, I guess, in a way.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's
exactly.
cool. What is it called?
It's muscle healing. That's the way I call it,
It's called
muscle
muscle
healing.
healing. Okay,
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like knowing, once again, going back to the basis that we are made of energy, and
Mhm.
energy is stored in our bodies, right? Emotion is energy in motion, right? So that's like how it flows in our bodies, right? But if you come back and say, okay, energy is stored differently within our body. Let's say, like when you stretch in a awkward position in a different way, if your body's not used to it, the energy will be locked in that area, and it's going through the whole cycle of I'm in pain. How you feel like I'm in pain is not gonna heal. Your body listens to it, but then when we release that energy saying it's okay, it's gonna be health. So this is verbally me affirming to them, but as well giving them exercises and constantly saying you're gonna get better, you will be fine. Just tell to your body, you will heal, and your body will listen, right?
And that's
So it's not.
amazing too, that you can actually train yourself to be better by just telling yourself that you are better. And there's
Yeah,
actually reports on this. Like it's real. Like it's not made up. Like you can actually
yeah,
look it up and see like studies on people that actually think about actually working out, like doing the whole exercise in their head, actually gets the same workout as if they were to work out, which is it's so weird to think that you could
wow,
just like,
really.
yeah, sit and like just seriously think about it. But you have to seriously think about it. And most people don't think in that way. They don't think in that depth, I guess it would be that way of thinking. And it's a muscle. You have to train it too. So
Very nice.
yeah. So you have
Mhm.
to, if you want to be more disciplined in that, you need more training. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's just more training than what you don't use, you lose, right? So it's about
Yeah.
training on the brain with constant things every day, and there will be a point when it's automatic. Like for me, I just make people aware. It's like I cannot afford that. I can't go there. I don't know how to do it. Right? As soon as you say you don't know, you make a block in your brain. Your brain won't find any way of knowing how to do it. Right? But if you
Yeah.
say, if you catch yourself, it's like actually I will learn how to know. I'm open to learn how to know, right? Your body, your brain is like,
I like
okay,
that.
full neurons is like where to find, how can I find the
How can
money
I find it?
over time, how can I learn this, right? How can I do it? In a way, they say around there, say yes and then find a way. Yes and no, it's a fine line around that. People say yes to business, but they don't know how to do it, and then they find it out. But I think it's the same thing. You say yes, so your body is like fully acceptance of an opportunity, and
Because it
then you're
looks
like,
for it, right? Because you start to look for it. It's just like having a car of like,
yeah,
say your car's red, and then all of a sudden you see all these red cars.
yeah,
You're having that connection, and it's the
yeah,
same way when you're also saying, I don't know this information right now, but I'm willing to learn it. And so your
yeah,
body or your brain is actually looking for those connections, and eventually you will get that information because you're actively looking for it. So
mm.
yeah.
Yes, it's called the reticular activated system, the one that when you say when you focus on something so much, it's like, okay, I am gonna get a blue Hyundai. this is the car that I want to get, right? You suddenly start to see it everywhere because your brain, that's what you put in your frontal lobe in your brain, in your third eye, right? And
Yeah.
that's what you put so much attention and passion, right? So it's not just focus on the mind, but it's emotion, right? So if you
True, it is
focus,
emotion. I never really thought about that. It is an emotion, and the emotion is the strongest sense humans have. So if
yeah,
you can put emotion behind your
thought,
action or your thought, then you are more likely to find it faster in a way too, and
yeah,
have a better connection with it. What was the term you said just now? What would it be called? That function?
reticular activating system.
A reticle.
Reticular,
Reticula,
reticular
reticula
activator,
activator
activator system,
system. A
system,
what's that?
like a system.
System.
Yeah,
A
reticular activating system. Like,
auricular. I'll have to practice that one. Auricular,
no,
auricular,
reticular. Yes.
reticular activation system. Okay, I got it.
Activated. Yes, beautiful. Perfect.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
exactly.
cool. And
Yeah, so yes.
Oh, I was gonna just let everybody know before we started the recording here. Nikolai actually does more in the field of what would you call it? It would be called like frequencies, I guess. He
Mm,
also works on tech support for machines that actually reads your waves or vibrations through your
mm,
body with sensors that you put on your wrist. Is that what it is?
yeah.
Is that
Yes,
what
indeed.
that was? That's really
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, and it's an app. So I'll put the details on that as well in the description on the podcast and the YouTube channel under Amena.Media, so you guys can check that out as well. Of course, and all Nikolai's information as well. So
Mm,
yeah, so very neat. So you've got all the different dynamics of it. You have you said you did training and
massage.
massage, right? Like muscles. And
Mm,
then also, you are learning more about the different mental stages, the frequencies. And
mm,
then you also are in the actual space that deals with devices that
yeah.
you
The
know can
frequency as
read.
well.
Yeah, where you can read the waves, like a more scientific aspect of it. So
Yeah.
definitely cool. Yeah.
More in the quantum field as well, and it's something just new that is just coming to the world. Like it was just approved by the FDA in America recently, and in Australia as well by like the medical federation. Like it's used as a medical device. It's called microcurrent, and that's just
Microcurrent.
one of the things that comes along in order to become the best version of yourself, right? So we have body, mind, spirit, finances, and let's go with that for now, right? So there's just things that I've improved in my life, and I just want to bring together in my coaching that I'm working on to putting out. So helping people to become like, be more resilient with emotions, be more aware of their emotions, where are they coming up, right? So doing emotional work as well. Why are you having triggers with this area? Why are you overeating or emotionally eating, which is something that I'm working on recently, with spirituality, finding yourself, who you truly are, right? And just finding your essence, like what is your magic to the world?
Yeah.
Like how do you make the world a better place? How do you bring all this light? We all have a light. We all
That's
we
true.
all are this, we are all the sun within ourselves, right? So how can I support you to find your light?
Yeah,
Right?
because
What
we're all
what makes
unique. We all have our way of speaking and our way that we are gifted in, training other people in or teaching other people about. So yeah, just trying to find that specific, um, which I said, way to communicate that with each individual. So that's
yes.
neat. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that, and also yeah, so it's to your spirit as well. Once you connect to that centeredness, your passion comes out more. So like I'm speaking to my heart the whole time. While we in here, sometimes probably more like in different spaces, we're different state. We are different, like, I guess, mental stages, right? But when we are speaking about our passion, which is where I am today, it's just my heart and soul just coming out, right? And with that as well comes like NLP. Have you heard of NLP?
Yes. A couple of people
Yes.
just recently that came on said NLP, and it threw me off for a bit. And I was like, "What is that again?" Neuro
Linguistic
linguistic
programming.
programming. Okay, yes. And so it's not a term that I was familiar with, but I think I know a lot of the stuff that goes into it, just basically talking with other guests as well. So I'm going to definitely look more into the actual, I guess, guidelines, I guess you can say, and
Yeah.
then see what it is about myself that is. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
definitely.
it's pretty much what we did before. It's pretty much just about saying about the words, right? Just instead of like
Mhm.
changing the thought of something of like, because like we have so much pillars of things that is just like so strong because it's been repeating through our whole life.
Oh, yeah.
So you know, our parents telling us we don't have enough money, money doesn't grow on trees, we can't afford it, and we buy that story, and we think that's still plays in our life when it's like, no, actually, money does grow in trees. It's made of paper. What are you talking about?
I've
You
studied
can't.
I've studied a lot of mindset stuff. In fact, I do teach it as well through the podcast and the YouTube channel. So it's something that I've been studying for quite some time now. However, like I said, I didn't like actually take a certification. I didn't take a course. It was just all things that I came across in my own journey, and just dug more into it, and then research like philosophers and religion and things like that. But it seems like it's the same basis, it's the same story. It's just they put it into like a program, I guess, with the NLP. So like I said, I gotta look it up myself, but I have a feeling it's the same. They're using the same resources, should I say, to develop it. So
Yeah, they're using the same basis, but just the different perceptions. You know, like
yeah.
so you were saying that based on religion, based on how they teach religion, is like part of NLP. Is that what you said?
Well,
Did
I
you
don't
say?
know if it is myself because I haven't actually looked into an NLP program, and I imagine there's many different ones, just like any certification through a program. But I think that NLP is a term that I'm not familiar with. But just like any type of certifications, over the years they were developed to give people the knowledge without having to find everything out for themselves. And I feel like I was on the path that I had to figure everything out myself because I didn't know this program existed. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Well, that's part of the journey, isn't it? Like this,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That's the thing with your spirit. There's so many things that are clear inside of here. We don't need to know it out there at all. Like there's
Yeah.
so many things that I've done. Like for example, like healing with energy, right? Because I do Reiki as well. So it's like, oh, they need help with the heart. I just like, yeah, I just imagine, green energy in my hand and I just rub them. I explain that to someone and they're like Reiki. I'm like, I'm not sure. I don't know what that
Yeah. I
is.
don't know what that is. Yeah.
Intuitively by itself, the same thing for you. Like you're just learning in the way, and then you're like, "Oh, that's
Oh,
NLP."
wait. Yeah. Yeah, and I know what you mean. There was a term actually that I come across every now and then. People say they're grounding, and I did never heard of the term until like I don't know about 5 years ago, I think. And somebody asked me like, "Oh, so you ground or something?" I'm like, "What? Like walk without your shoes on grass or something? In nature?" I just been doing that ever since I was a kid. Virginia, we have grass. I know a lot of places that you probably don't. You can't walk without shoes, right? But I've always had a yard, and I've always had nature around me, so it was just something that I've always done. So,
Yeah. It's like it's so logical for some people, and you just like, oh yeah, I've already done that. However, is a piece coming back that is not logical for a lot of people. A
it
lot of
is
people
true. Yeah.
wasn't raised in that way, so it's making them aware of that. It's like, hey, it's really grounding is like a great benefit for your body to release because we're full of like negative ions the whole day through people and shopping centers and computers and everything. Mother
Hmm.
Earth is full of negative energy, right? So we're full of positive energy, and then the polarity, which is needed for balance, we ground with the Mother Earth, and then we just release, right? And so many people have shown, benefits of disinflammation, release of pain, just clear mental state, etc., etc. But
Well,
yeah,
you gotta
just coming back.
imagine. We're not made. initially to wear shoes, right? Like I've always felt them very confining. So I never wore shoes as a kid. And even as an adult, I don't like wearing them if I just, walk out in my yard and stuff. So I don't. Or even I'll go on a walk too without them. So, you just get used to them. You just get used to, the feel of the ground and stuff and everything. You get better balance too, because you can move better without shoes. Shoes are very constricting. In fact, when I go to the shoe store, whenever that is, I don't go much, but I actually bend my shoes and make sure they're flexible. And if they're not flexible, I won't buy them. Like they have to be super flexible. And then I usually buy it a whole size up. So I have room in my shoe to actually move better. Yeah. So
that's an interesting way to buy shoes. Just like
if I can't fold it like totally in half, like if I can't bend it, like you can literally fold it in half, like the sole is not bendable, I won't get it because it's not gonna benefit me. I can't get a full range of motion.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it will stop you from your natural form of the foot to the curve. You start to stump and affect, all of body. If you go to physiology, if your feet is not flat, but it's like like you're stepping more towards the side, it's gonna affect your knee, and then your hip, and then your spine, and then your shoulder.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that it can affect.
Everything is connected, right? And yeah, it's just funny for that you're saying just the shoes and we just go into your muscles straight away. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just because, for me, always having grass and always having a yard, it was just never something that was different. I didn't know a different way. And then I realized a lot of people that were asking me that particular question, do you ground, were brought up in cities. And, they weren't used to not having shoes and, just walking out the door. So it's definitely, different.
You need to come to Australia. Here, everyone walks barefoot all the time. Like most people, like hippies or surfers, they just like.
Well, I don't think I'm a hippie or a surfer, but I definitely not wear shoes.
Very nice. It's very freeing as well. You don't have to. I had up here like 3 weeks and I didn't use any shoes at all. My skin got a bit sore because they have to get used to the roughness.
They do. You have to get callous. Yeah.
Or just train, not necessarily callus, but just like the thick layer at the bottom of the feet. That after use it for so long, it just obviously went
soft. Away. Your feet are too soft.
You're too soft.
Yes.
Yes. So I want to rewind a little bit and go back into becoming your best version. So we have muscle, we have mind, we have spirit, we have finances and business, and how yes, we are spiritual beings living a human experience. We are made of energy, and if you don't understand these terms, just search what is spirit or what is energy. There's different videos about it. I can send you some that you can put in the description as well. But knowing as well that part of this life is living, money is part of this life as well. It's not about making money and then being saying money is bad. Because once again, your words, if you say money is bad, well, money is not going to come to you.
No, sure isn't.
Evil, money is for rich people is evil. If you think that, well, you're never going to be rich, right? And you don't need to be rich financially to be rich. You are rich on your wisdom. You are rich on the love within yourself. However, if you want to live, free, like a financial free life, being able to be flexible and not work for someone, you have to put a business, knowing how to turn $1 into two without your assistance, without you to be there, right? Just an automatic system. So through investments, through business, or an automatic system that you've created that that eventually you can pass it on, sell it or something, right? So supporting people as well to find their magic is like, what do you enjoy doing all the time, and how you can profit from that, right?
Yeah, how do you align better with that? Because you can't be like, all right, well, I'm comfortable, working for my 9-to-5 job, but yet I want to travel. Well, you can't travel if you're working your 9-to-5 job. So what is your passion? Do you want to travel? Well, then you're going to have to make a shift. And if you're not willing to make the shift, then you're just going to have to be happy and adapt to the situation that you're in currently. So, yeah.
Yes. So you see that you just to stay in the rat race in a way, or you choose to say like, actually, I don't want that cheese. I'll make my own
I'll
cheese.
make my own.
I'll
Yeah.
make my own cheese. Won't be
That's
as
actually good.
stinky.
That's good. Yeah.
Won't be as stinky, but I will get there.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. All of these that I do in one side. I love working with kids as well. I do kids superhero parties as well. Like if
What is
there's like a
it? Kids superhero?
yeah, parties as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, the
Yeah.
superhero parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you dress
Yeah.
up as?
I do Batman, I do Iron Man, I do Superman, I do um the Hulk, I do a Commando, I do Ninja, which is one of my favorites, and it's just the best. It's just the best to
That's
encourage kids to
cool.
play, and that's good for for me as well in a way because being an adult, some like a lot of people get caught in the adulthood and the do and the money and stuff, but they don't know that a balance is needed. Have fun, right, and
Yeah,
be a and so in this space, I can just be silly, just be a kid and do like animals and just run around and play tag or like whatever it is, but just being silly,
exactly.
just enjoying with no thought, just saying things and just thinking about it, and obviously with passion as well. Seeing some kids already, reflection of the parents, the kids are already like shy, and the parents say, "Oh, he's shy." He's like, "No, he's not. You are the shy one that's reflecting that into the kid. So
But
you're
then,
my friend."
yeah, exactly.
But,
You're saying
uh,
it. So you're giving him that reason,
affirmation,
that
affirmation,
affirmation. Yeah.
that things like that. So I'm like, you know what, my friend, what do you like to do? You like soccer? Yeah. All right, I'll make you a sword, right? But you have to tell me, like I don't know if it's mathematics, like tell me an equation or something. But even so, if I have a balloon, it's like you're the best soccer player ever, and I'm dressed like a Spider-Man, and they love Spider-Man. So
Yeah.
emotion
It is.
connected with that moment is like, oh my God, Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
I am the best soccer player. I'm gonna play soccer. You know what I mean? Like
That's
changing the life.
amazing.
So I
Yeah.
think it's
And you're
burning a beautiful heart. I love like this is like it's part of my passions as well to help people evolve as well and to,
Oh yeah, and it's
don't.
something that's gonna, they're gonna remember for a lifetime because, like you said, they're connected. They're emotionally connected to these superheroes, and then
Mm,
you giving them this positive affirmation.
mm,
That is powerful. You're giving them, something to look up to, something to strive for. So yeah, that's really cool.
yeah, yeah. And so like that's just one of the multiple things. I do a few more things around, but I all of it is just coming from love. Like I'm a messenger of love and I'm been here to this world to help people to find the light within themselves, to find the answer within their heart, and to love all of their experiences in life. Like
Yeah,
love, even so if the past was hard, just to love it. Because if we don't if we have resentment to it or guilt to it or shame to it, we don't accept ourselves because that's part of us, right? So what about if we love it? If you like, wow, like I love that I live that because now I am here and I learn. Like I love that I live that period of my life without a dad and with tough childhood because now I know what's going on for these kids in their
yeah,
childhood and I can
definitely.
support them, right?
I think that's the best way to give back. Like if, you had trauma in your past, how to better relate to people that are dealing with the same type of patterns now, and then
Mm,
how to correct that hopefully early on, or at least have them heal later on in life. And you're doing both. You're doing it like in the child aspect, going to these parties, and even, with adults, doing all your other ways of healing and teaching people. So that's really cool.
yeah, yeah, it's beautiful. That if I were going to leave a message here is to, whatever melody you find that your heart sings, just sing it as strong as you can. Putting out there, and don't compare it to what others sing. Or the other may seem more popular, or they may sing the same melody, but knowing that you have your own unique essence, so own it, and like shine like the beautiful sun that you are. You're a son. You're meant to like shine stronger, bring that light to the world, because you make the difference with your smile and your presence in the world. And like if you, I don't know, just fully just passion and vibrancy right now, just really really vibing Wow.
That's cool. That's really cool. Thank you for that message. I was going to ask you too, here, because we are getting shorter on time. Was there anything that really, you wanted to leave here at the end? But I did want to ask you this question that before we got on here, you put on here, and I've been waiting for the right moment to ask you. So I'll just ask you now. So what is this cartoon show that you told me about that you said, you have a really favorite cartoon show and you wanted me to ask you about it?
My cartoon show?
Yeah. So you don't even remember. You said here, what is my favorite cartoon show? So I'm like, okay.
Interesting.
This is interesting. This is an interesting one.
Yeah, a cartoon show.
Yeah,
Wow.
maybe you were thinking of something else at the time.
That was my inner child coming along.
Maybe it was.
Yeah.
Do you have one? Can you think of maybe a favorite superhero?
Yeah, Batman. Definitely Batman.
Mine too.
Yeah,
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Batman of the night,
I actually have a painting that I painted. He's over here next to me. Batman. So,
No,
yeah.
Yeah, I see the lion as well behind you. Are you a Leo?
No, I actually paint. That one behind me is called Passion Without Boundaries. And so, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I'm a Leo and I'm digging. I'm like,
I actually have a lot of Leos that really like it. Yeah.
It's so good. You have a very, very
See
good
my art. You can see my my paintings on my Facebook predominantly. You can go to Amena K Art and just type that in the Facebook, and you can see more of it. I have a lot more that needs to be listed. My older website, I took down and put everything onto Amazon. So everything's actually on Amazon, but it's easier just to say to go to Facebook than, trying to like memorize a tagline for Amazon. I mean, you can try to find it, but there's only a gazillion listings on Amazon. So
I'm sure I'll find it. I'll just send you a message about it and I'll find it in a link.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just really feeling into the cartoon thing. I feel like I was referring to like your favorite movie as a
maybe
kid.
it says cartoon though. So yeah, cartoon show.
Yeah, lots of things comes along, but what is present right now is that recently I've been watching anime.
Yeah.
Have you heard of anime?
Oh yeah, I've watched tons over the years.
Oh yeah, great. So something I found with anime is that it really leaves you a beautiful message. Always. Like it's always it's always learning, it's always like friendship or like leadership or push towards your dreams. It's like I don't care how much pain, as we were speaking, I don't care how much pain in my past. This is what I want to be. Everyone mocking you, I don't care. This is who I want to be, right? Like it always leaves you with a message, with an essence and a message. And it's very different. The quality right now of cartoons in TV is just very bad, to be honest. Yeah. Like what kids are being exposed to is like that does not fit in the brain at all.
No, some of them is very controversial. Definitely, we don't have television. Just because there's a lot of things that I don't want to put in my own head. So yeah.
Well, eventually you become what you surround yourself with, right?
Exactly.
So if you do all of these and being suggested all these things and thinking that this is right or whatever they're saying in the show, they're gonna act like that as well. And very different from my age when I grew. I think Tommy Jerry and the Pinky Panther and Bugs Bunny was my favorite. Show.
I love Bugs Bunny because he played basketball and I really like basketball.
Nice. Yeah.
And he was funny because he had this certain way of sarcasm, so that was very unique.
Getting away with it very easily. Yeah. It's very interesting. Yeah. So yeah, you're seeing like the in these days the best is just to see anime or see one of these old cartoons because they're like, well, if you want to have something simple, it's just funny. It doesn't have any like subliminal messages or anything like that.
Yeah, definitely. True. It was a little bit more violent, but yeah, but there was no subliminal messages. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, anime is something I really dig, and I would recommend like Naruto. It has a bit of violence.
Naruto's good.
but it has really deep down a lot of like learnings and teamwork and camaraderie and like this is my word, and I told you 10 years ago that this will happen, and I'm still here strong and standing for my word. And they bring emotion, and like the way they make the cartoon, it just makes you feel like like this is the moment. And you really landed strong. We were like I'm pretty sure the creators of Naruto, TV Tokyo, I think it is, they were pretty good with NLP. They knew how to get people into the story.
Oh yeah, probably. They're really dramatic on their emotions, even in when they're sad in anime. You see even in manga, like if you actually read manga, which I had a series I've been reading for, oh my god, I don't know, I lost count. Is it like 22 years or something? It's the original artist and the writer of the book still writes it today, so I get it. He updates it like every 1 to 3 years, so you have to wait because it takes a long time to make an actual anime book, because he's drawing it and writing it and things like that. But yeah, you're right, even in anime and manga, it's very emotional. They really show emotion, true emotion too, not like over what is it, sarcastic, or not aligning to the story. It very much aligns to the story. So yeah, like real personalities, I guess. It really shows real personalities in their shows. So it's really neat. Yeah. I never really thought about that before, but yeah.
And it's true, and just adding to that lastly, and it's showing truly emotion of the human, because now I think everything is shifting now with the whole condition of the world, but there's a lot of things that is like a non-feeling wave. Is like you're not meant to cry, you're not meant to feel pain, you're not meant to feel sad. I always feel happy, but then you're numbing down. It's like you're getting a bottle of this, but you're pressing everything down and pressing it down and pressing it down. But it's gonna be at a point until that pop. It's gonna pop.
Oh yeah, because you're not releasing the energy.
Exactly, yeah, all that emotion, internal emotion that like grief or anger or everything that is going along. That's why finding support, for trauma support, or somewhere to talk about, even just a conversation. The fact that you like can get it out is like, yeah, I steal this, or I hurt this person, or I hurt her, or she's pregnant. As heavy as it can be, when you let it out of yourself, it's just like a relief of your body, right?
So, I totally agree with this. And this is another reason why I love this series and I love hosting it, because I give people the opportunity to come on, and if they never told their story, it's a way for them to release it. So so it's healing not only the listeners or the viewers, but it also heals the guests that come on, because they're actually giving a platform they can actually release it on, and they feel good about it. They don't feel like they're doing it just for them. You so say. So yeah.
Yeah, and thank you very much for that opportunity to come in over and share a message of love and
a
message of hope for you and anyone who's listening for anywhere around in the world. I send you right now a beautiful, beautiful, massive hug that I give always with a big hug, and I hug you and I shake you, and your legs are just hanging everywhere.
Well, you're so tall, you can do that to me, actually, because I'm only 5'3", so yeah, I can imagine. I would not touch the ground at all.
I'll give you a hug. Yes, yes.
Virtual hug.
For this space, to be able to chat, and yeah, just grateful for your presence as well. Like your vibe is so beautiful, your energy, and how we find the conversation is just amazing. And what you're doing as well, like as you, I reflect as an entrepreneur, just finding different ways to to put your message out there, everything that you do, and living a happy and simple life with your family. Whatever it is that you do, I know is from your heart, that's for sure. And that's the most inspiring thing, that you take leadership to what's important for you and just putting it out there without expecting anything from anyone but yourself.
Thank you, Nicola. I totally appreciate your kind words and your love and support. So I'm going to go ahead and start closing up our session here, and thank everybody for listening. Thank everybody for being a supporter of the Message of Hope, Stories from Struggle to Success. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being a subscriber on the YouTube channel at Amena.Media. Thank you for following and sharing the podcast, One Up Podcast. Again, you can get that link by going to Amena.fm or anchor.fm/oneup to get other channels. Nikolai had brought a lot of energy to the room today, and we covered quite a bit, all the way from, helping children to helping adults and finding their energy, and all the different areas of that too, not only just through words, but also through touch and what would it be? Would it be device? I guess I don't like to use the word device.
Tool,
Like
frequencies.
And through frequencies.
Frequencies, yeah, frequencies and
Yeah, and finding your frequency to heal and also to enhance, not just to heal, but to enhance it. So yeah, thank you again, Nikolai. It's been a lovely chat. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell everybody before we close out today?
Yeah, I want to make you a question to leave you with that for the way is, how do you make the world a better place?
How do you make a world? How do you make the world a better place?
And just leave Amina the comment in how is it that you made the world a better place, and if you haven't, how are you gonna take the action towards that? So whatever she posts this, whatever you hear in this, just leave a comment or send her email, whatever it is. But yeah, I really want to leave you with that. Just grasp it. It takes a bit to find it what it is, but that, my friend, is your essence, and that is who you are.
That'd be awesome. And then Nikolai can come in and look at the comments too. So I don't know if you can leave comments on the podcast. You can leave a review. So definitely go ahead and make a review and message Nikolai in that as well, and say, hey, I listened to this episode. Nicola was on the show and he asked this question on what is my essence, right? Or what is my purpose? What is my passion? What do I align with? And and then we can actually do maybe a follow-up show and go over all those, because that would be awesome. Yeah.
I'm down for that.
All right.
Beautiful.
So thank you again. It's been amazing. Have a lovely evening. I know it's like 11 o'clock at night there now, so get some rest, and I'll talk to you later. Take care.
Yes, have a beautiful night.
Thanks. You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.